Hey guys, it's Jolanta from Soullight Space. I am astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video I would like to talk about Pluto in Aquarius transit, 20 years long journey of Pluto transforming the energy of Aquarius. We start in March 2023 and this transit will stay with us till 2044, so it's very important for all of us to know what is coming, what kind of energy, what we can expect in the world, in technology, in science. I hope this video will help you also to make better choices about your future, about your career, about your education, because knowing what is coming can help us in that, right? So stay with me till the end. If you will find this video valuable, you can support me with your likes, you can comment down below any sort of reflection, anything you would like to share about Pluto in Aquarius. You can subscribe to my channel for more videos, and of course you can join me on my social media. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything is in the link down below. I post daily updates about astrology on my social media platforms, so you can just join and have some updates for free, so why not? And also I offer personal readings, so if you find my approach to astrology interesting for you, you can have a look at my website. Again, same link than the one down below. You can see my offer, what kind of readings I am doing. Maybe natal chart, maybe you want to get to know yourself better, work with your struggles, do some sort of shadow work with natal chart, or you would like to see your transit to know how we can use the current energy for your advantage. So that's all. Or maybe last thing, this is also available on Spotify, so if any of you would like to listen to this as a podcast, then again, in the link down below you can find everything you want. So just description box serves for everything, including timestamps, so please enjoy all the information that I prepared for you down there. And meanwhile, let's focus on Pluto in Aquarius. So first of all, let's see the dates. Very important thing is that March 2023 is just the first initiation of this transit, because then Pluto, due to retrograde motion, backward motion, is coming back to Capricorn. So we're gonna have this jump in and out, switching between the signs few times, and the final moment when Pluto will enter for good Aquarius till the end for the next 20 years, this will happen in November 2024. So till that day we still have some sort of bumpy road of Pluto jumping in and out. So March 23rd this year till June 11, that's the only period in 2023 when Pluto is in Aquarius. So there's going to be some activation of this energy. We're gonna see first events, first first energies that will give us some sort of vision about the next 20 years. But again, then we go back to the previous transit in Capricorn, so don't get too excited, it's still just the beginning. And then in 2024, the next time when Pluto will enter Aquarius is in January 20 till September 1st the next year. So that's already a longer period when Pluto will be in Aquarius. And then again back from September 1st back to Capricorn for a couple of weeks, and then November 19th 2024, that's the final entry. That's when we really gonna start this transformation. This transit will be just, you know, in full speed till 2044. No interruptions in between. So that's important to know, and especially for those of you guys who have planets in the final degrees in Capricorn or first degrees in Aquarius, you guys will feel the most what is going on in the next 2 years. The rest of us, we still have to wait for our turn to be transformed by Pluto. But just to let you know that we are still in the first phase of that. We still have to do some things about Capricorn, Pluto being in Capricorn. So maybe I will start with talking a little bit about what Pluto in Capricorn was all about, because this transit is with us for the last 15 years. It started in 2008 with big financial crisis, and you see how it goes. Pluto transforms through destruction. Pluto first destroys something, makes something dead in order to make this thing again be born into something new. So that's a transformation of Pluto from a total collapse to something new. And we had this energy going on in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is financial system, institutions, authority figures, government, banks, corporations, business, all those things connected to, you know, being very ambitious and trying to reach higher and higher position, for example, in professional life. All sort of fixed structure in our reality, including tradition, what was done, what we do, because it was always being done in that way and nobody's questioning this, right? So that's Capricorn, like stable like a rock, and at the same time hierarchy, people in the highest position in hierarchy. This is Capricorn. So now this energy since 2008 till now was under Pluto energy. So observing what was going on with banks, with finances, with institutions, corporations, big people in power, what was happening in the world in those topics. This will also give us a lot of insight about how Pluto operates on a global level as transit. So a part of what I just mentioned about this death and rebirth kind of thing that is very typical for Pluto, this phoenix rising. Pluto is also control and power. So you can also see that even though there was this crisis, still those high people in the on a high position in hierarchy, they didn't lost the power. They gained even more power because Pluto is empowering the sign in which Pluto is right now. So now the energy of Capricorn was to a certain point gain more control. You can see what happened in 2020 with how much control government had over the population, right? Especially when this was happening together with Saturn being in Aquarius. Aquarius is people, humanity, us, random people, and then also freedom. And Saturn is control, is restriction. So this energy of freedom of humanity was restricted by Saturn, and this together with Pluto being in Capricorn, empowering governments, politicians, banks, it gave them even more power to manipulate, to control, to be, you know, to have some sort of just power over everything going on. And we people, we lost control, kind of. I think like we felt very suppressed by this energy of Pluto in Capricorn operating at the same time with Saturn in Aquarius. Two heavy planets, collective planets that influence us all globally, Pluto and Saturn. So it's very important to know about them, where they are, in which sign, and connect the dots to understand the lesson and what this energy is all about. Also Pluto manipulation, this energy in shadow side can be used in a very destructive way, very violent, manipulative way. So this we could also see from the side of what Capricorn represents, right? Also, Pluto likes to show the truth. The purpose of Pluto in our life is to connect us to the harsh reality of how things truly are, and with the main focus on the shadow side. So everything that is ugly, dark, hidden, secretive, taboo, things that are, you know, it's a crime to make those things. Those things are exposed by Pluto, and they are connected again to the sign in which Pluto is. So now with Capricorn energy, exposure of corruption, lies, manipulation, all those dark, shadowy things that people in power were doing for many, many years. And all those things were gradually from 2008, we were discovering them. We would see more and more scandals going on. And I feel like now those next 2 years, 2023, 2024, when we're going to have this, this dance of Pluto between Aquarius and Capricorn, touching those final degrees of Capricorn. An anaretic degree, 29 degrees, the most intense final lessons in closure of this process. So we might see huge scandals now showing up in the world. Maybe some people will lose their position out of some sort of crisis. So again, let's observe what is happening. Let's watch the show of Pluto exposing the darkness of people having the biggest power in the world. And also, what else I can say is that Pluto is marking the end and the beginning. You can compare Pluto to, for example, the season of fall, autumn, right, when leaves are falling from the tree. So toxin also is going from our life. All that is dead, all that already, end its life, like those old trees that needs to be released from the tree, let go, process of letting go of old things, because if not, they will to a certain point make problem to the tree. Tree needs some regeneration in order to bloom again in spring. So Pluto is this sort of bridge in between two worlds, between dying and being born again, and it's very much connected to psychological death. It's transformation, it's changing the shape, changing the form. On an individual level, for example, with Pluto, we might feel like our old self died and now we are operate in this world as a new person. So this is some sort of death when I'm talking about dying with Pluto. It's not literal death only, it's more about this internal, deep, soulful process of death of certain things. So this, again, same process is happening now in Capricorn energy. You can see that this crisis, economical crisis, also sparked a lot of new ideas about our economical system. Also, there was due to exposure of certain shadowy things, the lack of trust is now a big theme as well for people who are in power, right? Because we random people now knowing more and more about what they are truly doing, and this is also to a certain point disempowering them again, right? So this power struggle, you see, it's like Pluto can give you power or make you powerless, totally powerless, depending how you operate, how you use this energy. It can bring you a crisis in which you feel like you have no control, no power at all over your life. And this is also in order to teach you something, to show you maybe that you are using your power in a wrong way, in a destructive way. So that's the general information I can say about Pluto. Is the final planet in the solar system, far away from the sun. Sun is life, sun is light, it's it's vitality. So that's why Pluto is more connected to things dying, things ending, things transforming into something new, and again starting something new, some new process. So always have the hope that with Pluto there is a promise for regeneration as well, for gaining more power thanks to you overcoming those lessons of Pluto, and also you facing your shadow side. If we talk about personal level, then also this is giving you a lot of power and control over yourself once you deal with those repressed emotions that Pluto represents as well. This is a pure shadow work with Pluto. So we had the shadow work, we still have shadow work in the sign of Capricorn. a lot happening in politics and banks. You can also see like the trust to banks, for example, decreased a lot. Now people are even scared to, you know, make some contracts with banks, to, you know, make some loan and stuff. But you see, that's the lesson. We became more careful. We are now more cautious about who we trust when we are listening to media, to TV, when we read something in the internet. Now we don't trust so blindly, I hope. I hope that you all guys have now this sort of energy in you, that you know that we need to also let first people show us who they truly are before we can trust them. So this energy is all about Capricorn now. And also I feel like there was some sort of crisis. First there was, you know, this focus of being very ambitious. You know, people at my age, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, everybody was like studying so much, so many things, many courses, programs. People knew that they need to learn as much as they can to survive in this very competitive kind of energy of Pluto in Capricorn. But also this brought some sort of crisis. We were faced with the fact that this is not a natural life for human beings. And I feel like this pandemic situation 2020, and that was also this lesson of, you know, suddenly closing for a while the whole world, lockdowns. So even the Capricorn energy had to be more quiet. I'm talking not about governments, but about us, you know, increasing our value as a employee, right, professionally. Suddenly we were just closed at homes. Nobody would go to normal work anymore. And that was a time of reflection about our life, about this Pluto in Capricorn energy as well, like where we are going, running like crazy, you know, just focusing on work and forgetting about important things in life, like spirituality, connections, our integrity, free time when we can also, you know, use our talents, fifth house in astrology, or express our talents, or connect to people we love, fourth house, seventh house. So there was a lot going on in this lesson with Pluto in Capricorn. So you see, it's very bumpy. It's, you know, power, no power, a deep focus on doing things connected to the sign of Capricorn, and then suddenly crisis, and also maybe releasing some shadow side of Capricorn along the way. Because Capricorn shadow side is, you know, working too much, being so focused on professional life that they forget about private life. They have no private life at all, because it's just all about making money and, you know, building your position in this 10th house of public life, right? And fourth house, the opposite sign, it's empty. So that's my little, you know, we could talk a lot about Pluto in Capricorn. It's 15 years and a lot of topics, but the most important thing for you guys to remember is that this energy that we could see now in Capricorn matters, it's entering Aquarius matters. So now what is Aquarius all about? So we will know more or less what type of energy Pluto will trigger for the next 20 years. So we have science. So exposing shadow side of science, technology, internet, social media. This is also connected to aviation and space. This energy is also humanity, people, us all. We will be facing our shadow, collective shadow side as well. We will see to which point we are humanitarian, altruistic. Those are values of Aquarius. We can also be challenged to build communities and to express our truth, to be free, and to do things in the way as we want, even if it's out of norm, even if it's weird. You know, Pluto will empower this side of us as being unique, as being individualistic. Aquarius talks about those things, right? And what else? Let me see in my notes, because I made some notes even. It's such a complex transit that I don't want to skip any part. So then also free speech, it's gonna be challenged. Progress, innovation, development of artificial intelligence, society, social justice, civil rights. We're gonna talk here with Aquarius also about revolution, change, protests, and all types of outsiders, LGBT, for example, something that is out of traditional norm. So it's a little bit, in contrast to Capricorn. Capricorn was tradition, and now we're gonna see all that is not traditional, all that is, it's like a part of my minority, something that was maybe considered, as I mentioned, out of norm. But who decide what is normal in this world, guys? I always think about the word normal like something that doesn't exist actually, because who is the one who can decide over that, like create the norm? I don't think there is somebody with such a power. We are all just unique, and we can live our life the way we want. For me, the only mark of stop is when you are making somebody suffer, when you are hurting another person, crossing boundaries with another person. But till that point, if you are not hurting anybody, you can just try your own ways of life, different ones, and tradition has nothing to do with that. But that was my Uranus in the third house speaking to you guys. Uranus rules Aquarius, as some of you know, so that's a very revolutionary, modern, futuristic energy that doesn't like any sort of tradition and rules. We create our own rules, right? With our, of course, having our integrity always on focus, and trying not to hurt anybody when we are experimenting with life. Also, Aquarius rules astrology. So astrology is again on focus with Pluto in Aquarius. We're gonna have this Plutonian energy here as well, and DNA, telepathy, all kind of developments that we cannot even imagine that they are possible to exist. I feel like our limited mind, especially now with this Pluto being in Capricorn, tradition, doing things as they always been, for example, all this lifestyle of, you going to school, ending some, degrees at the university, then, getting married, having a house, car, dog, kids, very traditional energy, right? So this is now being shaken with this Pluto in Aquarius. We're going to see many people living this type of life, I believe. It's going to be more open, more progressive, and every person will be more open to live the way they want. I believe that this transit will end this blindly following tradition. Let's say this that way, and not challenging tradition, right? So those were topics of Aquarius. Aquarius is the energy of, some person that sees something that is not even existing. That's why very often Aquarius is not understood, because the vision they have is so modern, so progressive, so focused on future of what can be. They challenge status quo. They disagree with what is happening now, because they see that it can be better, it can be easier, it can be more modern. That's why with this Pluto in Aquarius, we can expect a very huge development of science, of technology, of internet, of the way how we communicate, of transport, of education, of every single part of our life, because Aquarius is humanity. So it's gonna change the whole social scenario along those 20 years. And again, don't expect that it's gonna happen overnight. It's a long process, and I believe it's gonna be like this, ups and downs. For example, let's take just one topic, freedom. Aquarius is freedom, Pluto transforming freedom. Pluto likes to transform by creating first crisis and destruction, and even taking the power away from what the sign represents, in order to make us fight for this value of, in this case, Aquarius. So I see some interesting lights here. That was some sort of energy, you know, Aquarian kind of, you know, sudden weird lights. So what I can say with freedom, for example, we as humanity and our sense of freedom can be challenged with this Pluto. Maybe we're gonna lose our freedom to a certain point along this journey, and we're gonna be forced to first face the shadow. What happened, what we let happen to us as a society, that we are not free anymore. And again, I would really focus on 2020, of what happened to the world during that time, because I feel like that was the first insight for us all of what Pluto in Aquarius might what kind of struggle to our freedom this Pluto can bring, because Saturn being in the same sign for the last 3 years gave us a big lesson of what can happen if we don't challenge the science, if we don't challenge so-called expert, if we believe blindly in the government. Pluto in Capricorn, Capricorn government, right? Pluto manipulation, control. And then Saturn again, this controlling energy over humanity. There was a time in 2020 and 2021 when people who've been actually they were doing things in a very Aquarian way. They were challenging the status quo. One person said that now everybody needs to take the vaccine, for example. And certain people were like, okay, but show me the results of your tests. Have you done any tests on that? Can we be sure that this is safe? I would like to know what kind of impact this might have on me before I take it, right? So those people were, there was a huge polarization. Those people were called names. There was some sort of a division in society, a conflict between those who said yes and those who said no. And I feel like the same scenario can happen with Pluto in Aquarius, but on a deeper level, harder level, stronger one. And there might be very like a contrast in ideology, because Aquarius talks about this as well. So we might be, there might be a huge disagreement about, you know, different groups of people having different visions and fighting with themselves. And I feel like that was a part of this Pluto in Capricorn gaining control over society, because with Saturn in Aquarius, right? Control of society, because we, instead of trying to find the best solution for ourselves, we just focused on fights in the internet. Aquarius is internet, so there's this, you know, comments in social media, people just, you know, calling themselves weird names. Instead of really being open to discuss the science, to challenge the science, to have open mind, to be also open to the fact that every person can be not right. And that's why we need to ask questions. You know, science is connected to Aquarius. Aquarius rules science and technology. So maybe also there's going to be some revelation about the shadow of science, how this truly looks like, and how many lies we've been told about science in the past, in order to heal that, because Pluto wants to clean the mess. Pluto wants to take the trash out from our life. So now this will be happening in Aquarius, in science as well. And science is not religion. Science should be always questioned, because that's how science can progress, when we are asking questions and challenging experts and scientists and, you know, everybody, doctors, whoever is doing something about science. So I feel like this will be one of the lessons. So really take whatever you learned about Saturn in Aquarius since 2020, 2021, what you have learned about media, experts, government. Take this with you for the next 20 years. Don't forget this lesson, because this lesson might save our life and save our freedom in the future. Also, this can show how much control you can gain over humanity using science, scientific sentences, even if they are really not approved, even if they are just bought, because again, Pluto in Capricorn showed us corruption. So don't forget that now you can buy everything with money, including, some approval for certain substances that are then, being sold by big pharma, for example, right? Now Saturn in Pisces. I talk about Saturn in Pisces in my other videos. You can also find them in the description box. So have a look at this as well, because this will be very much connected to big pharma. Pluto in Capricorn at final degrees for the next 2 years, jumping in between signs, and at the same time Saturn being in Pisces. So Saturn bringing karmic lessons to pharmacology, medical stuff, hospitals, big pharma, all those things connected to health. Virgo, Pisces axis is about health. I really cannot wait for Saturn being in Pisces. As you see, my view about big pharma, governments, and media is pretty clear. I was observing and researching a lot the last years, so karma needs to be served, hopefully. Now, Pluto being in Aquarius and technology, from one side it's going to reveal the shadow side, but from the other side we can expect big invention, discoveries, new experiments. I feel like the progress, technologically speaking, will be very huge in the next 20 years. So this is a bright side of Pluto, because Pluto gives a focus, almost obsession, like you are doing those things so deeply you cannot stop. It's like you are so passionate about doing those things. That's how we've been living now with Capricorn. People were obsessed with studying a lot, thousands of courses, practices, searching for the best position at work, working hard, overworking yourself, working, like I know people working 15 hours per day. Crazy, but that was this obsessive Plutonian energy, and now it's going to be in science and technology, in DNA. So I feel like many people now suffering from some sort of disease, they can find solution for them in the next 20 years. So that's a good information. Also education, us communicating, maybe there will be also transport. I feel like this all will be like so much changing. Maybe I'm just now creating things out of my imagination, but maybe flying cars, for example, or maybe telepathy. The way how we will communicate now, there's this thing of Zoom, Skype, Messenger. I feel like all those things will be so much different, so much more advanced in the future. As I mentioned, Aquarius rules telepathy as well, so let's see what's going to happen. And if we talk about this AI thing, artificial intelligence, I feel like there's going to be whoever wants to have a kind of guaranteed that his job will be useful in the future. I would go for some high technology things, AI things, those chats, people who know how to program those things, robotics, machines, because this is the path for humanity. So that's my tip for those of you who are interested in this kind of things. Job will be definitely easy to be found in those matters. But then bad information for the rest of people who are doing more traditional jobs. I feel like many people will be replaced with machine. So there will be not such a need for so many people working like they are working right now. There will be like such an automatization of things. Computers will work for us, basically. That's why it's very important to think about what kind of job cannot be replaced with artificial intelligence, if there is actually anything like that, hopefully, because it's gonna be really a huge shift. which again, this can lead to a lot of unemployment, and this can again be very easily used by plans of, if you follow World Economic Forum Agenda 2030, you can just Google this all and you will find out what kind of innovation is coming, made by those people in power. This is connected to Pluto in Capricorn, to what I said before. Those people have very high power over us, and now we were exposed. They were exposed their shadow side, corruption, lies, manipulation, especially 2020. Those masks, you know, like wearing masks just to make a show for the people and then taking them down when there were like camera was off. So all those things. Yes, so talking about artificial intelligence, we can see some, this can get out of control with Pluto again. We might be faced with shadow side of technology and artificial intelligence, and what I was talking about previously with this unemployment. Basic income can be very easily implemented with that. If we have a lot of machines, artificial intelligence doing our job, people not having work, needing money to survive, that's a perfect scenario to build a new system, more like a socialist kind of system, with people being equal, Aquarius, equality, and then basic income, every person receiving some sort of money just to survive. Then if we add to this Uranus being in Taurus, Uranus innovation, Taurus money, so together digital money. That's very possible that this will happen in the next few years, that the system will go into digitalization, and this can bring a lot of control again into Pluto controlling Aquarius humanity. So this can bring a lot of control over us if the money will be only, you know, digital. If people will have basic income, they will have no jobs, so they will depend on government, Pluto control, right, and Aquarius people. You see the picture, right? So there's a lot to think about, to reflect about, to which point this technology and this digitalization is actually good for us, right? You know, open space to think for you. If you want, you can comment down below what you think about those changes coming, what kind of danger you see in that, if you see any. I see a lot of danger, especially in the topic of control, which is the main theme of Pluto. And Aquarius is freedom being controlled, Pluto controlling Aquarius. Also free speech being controlled. Aquarius is open mind, free-spirited mind, talking what he thinks, being very unique in thinking, and Pluto can control that as well, censorship and stuff. Then if we think about social media, internet, this is another thing that Aquarius rules. So I feel like there's gonna be big chance for us seeing the dark side of being a part of those platforms, of connecting through those communicators, like, you know, Messenger and stuff. What is happening with our personal data, for example, with our information that we share in social media? Because now you see AI development, artificial intelligence, where, you know, they were like kind of replaced, they supposed to replace humans, so where they took all the information from in order to be like humans, right? So I feel like our personal data can be used in this process a lot, and now maybe we will discover with Pluto being in Aquarius the shadow side of that, the dark side of that, of what was going on in secret, you know, behind the curtain. And that can also bring the energy of people rebelling towards that revolution, Aquarius, right? And people leaving social media, people not wanting to participate in this game anymore. So I feel like there might be a crisis for internet as well. Again, like I mentioned, this financial crisis with Capricorn, now we're gonna have maybe crisis in technology, in internet. Something will change and shift here. Just like before, corruption of government, people losing trust, people not wanting to have anything to do with those people anymore, as also banks. And the same can happen now with, for example, social media. Let's see if this video will stay for the 20 years on this platform. I don't know if YouTube will exist so long, probably not. But let's hope. Maybe it's gonna be some sort of, ancient kind of communication. In 20 years from now, those kids born with Pluto in Aquarius will maybe look at this video just as we look now at those, those vinyl, for example, music, or old school ways of taking pictures and stuff. Let's see. Aquarius rules also aviation space, so I feel like there's gonna be a lot going on with travels to the space, discovering something new in the universe. Maybe our sense of what we know about the world for now will be totally, it's gonna be like an upside down, some totally new discovery that will just shake our mind, and we will be like, Jesus, we lived in such a lie, scientific lie, for so many years. I feel like science will be challenged a lot with Pluto being in Aquarius. So whatever we think about the world today, this, remember, can be a total bullshit, because it can mean that that was just our knowledge about the world so far. But there is so much more to discover, and I feel like we have so little knowledge for now about what this world is all about, who is actually having the biggest power in this world. So aliens, think this will be the very important theme for the next 20 years. And maybe to mention, as we are talking about space thing and discoveries in that matter, I will maybe mention one historical example. So now let's jump into the history of Pluto in Aquarius. And so we have transit of Pluto in Aquarius every 248 years. That's how long it takes for Pluto to come back to the same sign. So if we go not into the last one, but even further, like going deeper into history, let's go back to 16th century. So we had years 1532, 1553. That was the Pluto in Aquarius transit. And what happened during this time? There was a very, very important person, Polish astronomer from my mother country, Copernicus. Probably everybody know this person, very famous astronomer. He was also astrologer, and that time in 16th century you could study astrology at the university. So he was studying both of those things. At that time, astronomy, astrology, they were equal, same value at the university. It was just a normal thing to study, just like mathematics and things like that. So he studied those things, and as you know, he shaped the things totally in science. If we think about the heliocentric theory, so in the past, in ancient times, Middle Ages, for so many centuries, people believed that the center is Earth, that where we live, this is the center of the world, of the system, of universe, whatever. And around the Earth, the rest of planets, including Sun, they were moving, right? And now we know that solar system is Sun being in the center, and we and other planets, Earth and other planets, are moving around the Sun. So that was the change, the shift in science that Copernicus brought into the world. So this is Pluto in Aquarius. You see what kind of mind-blowing information can show up for us in the next 20 years if we compare this Copernicus energy. So very, very radical shift. What's more, Copernicus, he published his book in the same year when he died. he was postponing that because he knew that the church will disagree with that. He will be called like heretic, heresy, and he might even end up, in trouble if he say something that is against the Bible. So again, Aquarius is changing the status quo. And Pluto, it can come with some sort of persecution, So that's why some people, there might be some discoveries now that they will be so different from what we are used to think about the world that nobody will trust them, nobody will believe in that. People will call them stupid and weird and crazy, because Aquarius Uranus energy has this sort of crazy genius kind of energy. Person that is like, you feel like this person came from the future into our world and is talking such a weird modern things that we just cannot believe in that. So this kind of energy is coming into science for sure, into technology, aviation, transport, education. It's gonna be a radical change. That's why we really need to follow quick with what is changing, especially in technology, if we want to continue being useful in a professional sense. Then I would go for jobs that are related to that. Also, another historical example from same times, Henry VIII, the King of England. He also, maybe some of you know the story, that he wanted to get divorced, and the Pope said no. So in order to do what he wanted, very Aquarius kind of energy, okay, you don't want to give me divorce, I would just create my own church, and I will break our connection. Outsider kind of energy, rebellion, revolution, Aquarius in pure essence. So Henry VIII, that's another personality, person from history, a part of Copernicus that we can think about when we're gonna think about the next 20 years. This energy of breaking the rules, he broke from the authority figure, which was in that time Pope, one of the most important persons in the whole continent. So he just broke from that, and he built his own new system. So that's what Aquarius is doing, destroying old system, making a new one, or again, just separating yourself from the system and building your own rules, your own system. That's a very Aquarius kind of thing. So we can expect a lot of revolutions, protests, people rebelling towards status quo and saying no to what used to be till now. Saying no to the system, very Aquarius thing. And then as we talk about history, let's jump into the last transit of Pluto being in Aquarius. That was in 18th century. So dates were 1778, 1798. So the final years of 18th century, a lot was going on in the world in terms of freedom in that time. For example, we have US Constitution, we have French Revolution, we have Industrial Revolution as well. So again, this technological progress. And we have the Enlightenment. And one important thing, I would like again to mention Poland, as I am Polish by nationality, because in that time there was the event of 3 partitions of Poland. I don't know if all of you know what I'm talking about. Poland disappeared from the map because it was invaded, occupied by 3 neighbors of that time. Now this is Germany, Russia, Austria. In that time there were different names, but I will not overwhelm you with historical facts. But in general, neighbors of Poland, they took the land to themselves. It happened 3 times in 72, 93 and 95. 1772, right? We are in 18th century. So that was the time when also Polish people were confronted with the theme of Aquarius, which is freedom, independence. And there was also the first Polish constitution in 1791. In between those partitions, in order to survive, there was this constitution, and also there was the uprising, Kościuszka uprising, very important event in history. So we see this Pluto triggered the topics of freedom for Polish people in a very drastic way, dramatic way, because they lost the country in the end. So there was like a destruction of Poland, basically, and also destruction of authenticity of Polish people, because Aquarius talks about you being free to be who you are. And Polish people, as they were occupied by 3 countries, the population of Polish people had to adapt to new country, kind of like there was like Germanization of people. For example, they couldn't speak their own language, they had to speak Russian or German. It was in some places not allowed to speak your language, so they lost the identity, they lost the right, the civil right to be who they truly are. Very Aquarius thing. If you want to learn more about this, just Google 3 partitions of Poland, 18th century. You can see how the historical events unfold along the way. Poland was not on the map for 123 years, 1 to 3. So that was a very huge manifestation of Pluto, very dark energy, also making things die for a while. But then Poland came back like this phoenix rising after those 123 years. And also there was a lot of underground energy in that. Again, Pluto is doing things in secret, in a mystery, underworld. So there was a lot of communities, again, Aquarius, networking, community, creating your little tribes of people that have something in common. And doing something in secret. So I feel like this energy of what happened in Poland in that time, that Polish people were teaching kids in secret Polish language, teaching about culture, history, in order for the nation to survive, even though they were occupied, and as I mentioned, they were not existing as a country anymore. But the tradition, the nationality survived till now. So same energy can happen now. Maybe some new system, just like this energy of, occupation. So we're gonna maybe lose the power. Maybe we're gonna lose control as people, as society. Maybe this energy of some new system, of some government will try to control us and take our freedom away from us with this basic income, with this digital money, maybe, just like in China, those points, and you have to behave in a certain way. If not, you will not have access to your money, to your basic income, for example, right? Those things, this is just, this is my imagination. I don't know exactly what will happen, but this is very, very possible that this will happen, because I see this in Agenda 2030. This is official document. It's not something that I am just, it's not some conspiracy theory or something. It's something that is truly in the plans of elites. So we need to be aware of what can happen. We need to be open to fight for our freedom with Pluto in Aquarius in the next years. And I hope that we're going to stand on the side of freedom no matter what. Again, 2020 reflect if your choices in 2020, 2021, they were supporting freedom for us all, or they were against that, right? And no matter what you did in those years, now we can just choose a new path, learn from what happened, learn how we were manipulated with fake news, with some untruths about, especially from big pharma side, right? Because I mentioned in my Saturn in Pisces video, energy of pandemic is also quite strong for 2025, 2026, Neptune, Saturn in conjunction. And then also when yes, I said Saturn. Then Saturn Neptune in conjunction in the sign of Aries at the 0 degree. Aries is something totally new. It can be a new system. It can be also, unfortunately, some sort of military crisis. Hopefully not, but Aries rules wars. I cannot lie to you guys. It's a possibility, but let's not freak out. Let's focus on what we can control, and let's be hopeful that the energy will be used in a positive way. But we need to be aware that things might happen. So that was my little history for you. I don't want to overwhelm you more. It's a lot of information about what happened in the history during Pluto in Aquarius, but the main theme is, you know, fighting for freedom, revolution, changing a lot the social system, challenging those things, and a lot of advancement, development in science. So that's the thing that can be interesting for us. In terms of astrology, Pluto in astrology, it can show up again the shadow side of that, especially in the next 3 years when Saturn will be in Pisces at the same time, wanting us to get serious about our spirituality. Pisces rules that. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of, you know, karmic consequences and some sort of, you know, the need to get really mature, serious, structured, have a proper foundation to work in spirituality, for example, or astrology. So first, I feel like there's going to be like this purification. Pluto purifies. Remember that it shows you the shadow, so you can purify the energy, you can release the shadow, you can release the toxin. So this energy will be in astrological field for sure. And then at the same time, it can empower astrology. Those people who will use astrology in highest good, with good intention. Aquarius cares about the good of us all as society. So astrologers trying to make this world a better place with their service. No scam, no using people being in weaker, sensitive condition, having problems, not manipulating them and, you know, just scamming them, like it happens to my account a few times, that some scammers just used my name in order to scam people. So be aware of that sometimes some fake accounts come on my Instagram, for example, not my Instagram, for us all on Instagram, and then they just contact you. They say that they are me, and they send you some paper. I never do such a thing. If you want reading, you reach out to me. I never reach out to people, so just ignore such people, report them, block them. So I hope that this transit will help to also release such people from spirituality, because it's like such a shame that even such people exist, you know, and they do such things. Then I'm seeing here, you know, I already spoke a bit about what we can expect from Pluto in Aquarius, but now we can focus on what this can mean together with Uranus. Uranus will be in different signs along the way when Pluto is in Aquarius. Now we have Uranus in Taurus, so those changes of Pluto in Aquarius, social, technological, scientific changes, they will be now also connected to those finances, to food, to resources, to stability, to how we gain money. So that's why so many shifts in professional life, in finances, and that's why I expect for the next 3 years till 2026, because this is when Uranus will change sign from Taurus to Gemini. We can expect that this thing of a digital currency can be on a deep focus in terms of changes, and also more and more people working through internet, because Uranus is internet technology, high technology. You know, even those digital nomads and stuff, and Taurus is how you build your stability, including your finances. Then Gemini, Uranus in Gemini from 2026 till 2033. So next shift, in those years we can expect that this Pluto in Aquarius together with Uranus in Gemini in trine, both air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, like brothers, you know. They both talk about communication, networking. So I believe that there's going to be a lot of shift with social media, internet, the way how we communicate with each other, how we educate ourselves, because Gemini rules learning, rules schools. So I believe in those times schools will become mostly digital. Everything will happen just like it started in 2020. Again, treat this 2020 as a first sign of what is coming. That was like a test. Saturn is testing things, and Saturn was in Aquarius, which rules internet, for example. So we can expect that now those things that started in 2020, now they will increase to the global level. So digitalization of education is something I see for sure, and Gemini rules transport, cars. So I believe also there will be a lot happening there. For now, there's this electric cars that is the thing in focus. I think like traditional cars will disappear, and that's again the plan of elites. If you see Agenda 2030, World Economic Forum, again you can have a look what they are planning to do in terms of cars. And of course, this all is with this beautiful ecological mask that we are doing this for the planet. But well, I don't think so. Also, I should mention Uranus in Taurus is food, and you can see already those plans of us eating insects, a lot of modern ways of what might be served in human menu as a food. So this is again this energy of progress in Taurus, what we eat, and material possessions as well. So now after this Gemini, as I mentioned, first Uranus in Taurus, right? Then Uranus in Gemini, 2025, 2033. And then we are in the year 2033 till 2039 when we're going to have Uranus in Cancer. So with this energy, I expect a lot of changes for family unit, for how we create relationships, the birth of humans, maybe high technologies of giving a birth to a child that's going to be artificial external womb, for example, for babies to be born, maybe cloning, maybe huge modification and DNA, maybe modifying cells and genetic to the point that those newborn humans, they will be like free on some sort of disease or some mental problems, addictions, a lot of modification and DNA. I feel like DNA is another field where if you want to have a job in the future, if you don't want to be on basic income sitting at home with maybe this metaverse kind of glasses, watching digital world, and being just sitting in your home, having nothing, like they say, you will have nothing and you will be happy. This is the mantra of World Economic Forum. So this looks quite like that, that you just live in this digital world, you have no job, you get some basic income, so you are safe with money. You own nothing because they want us to rent things. So again, Uranus in Taurus possessions, and Uranus shaking things up, making this thing unstable and modern. So they don't want people to have possessions, they want people to rent out cars, just a rental kind of thing instead of possessions. So again, coming back to this Cancer, this Uranus in Cancer together with Pluto in Aquarius, if you think about Aquarius being quite detached emotionally, this is the energy of a scientist and intellectual person. So those things can also become more detached. Especially Uranus being in Cancer, Uranus rules Aquarius. So I feel like it's going to be a very modern kind of parenting, maybe co-parenting, people living in communities instead of now like we have this traditional family unit. LGBT people, I feel like this is also something opening up for them in order for them to maybe adopt kids and stuff, because LGBT, this is the minority that Aquarius rules, out of norm, right? Again, don't, no offense, for me the word norm means nothing. I feel like we are all just free to be who we are. But I feel like they will get more power. Maybe first there's gonna be some crisis, but then I feel like those people might have more power. All kind of thing and people that you can call, like, you know, a bit different, weird. And this is something that Pluto will empower now, actually. Also people who will just have the highest good of humanity in their heart. They want to make this world better. They care about the planet, the nature, animals. They treat everybody in an equal way. So those kind of energies that Aquarius represents, and again, intellectual energy instead of emotional energy, this will be now empowered by Pluto. 2033, 2039, that's a huge shift, revolution for how the family looks like for now. I feel like it's gonna be way much different than it used to be so far. Maybe more singlehood, maybe people not wanting to have children that much, because, you know, Aquarius is very, very much about progressing on an intellectual level. So people like that, you know, scientists, they also have different focus in life. So for us all, also in order to have higher consciousness, which also Aquarius represents, we need more time. And talking about time, you know, with this AI, robotic mechanism, all those digitalization of the world, I feel like we're gonna have way much more free time. So this again can be used for some sort of development of consciousness. So this is also a hopeful energy that maybe this will help us to progress, because if it's going to be less focus on family, as I mentioned, everything will be happening very quick and fast, with Gemini, Uranus in Gemini collaborating with Pluto in Aquarius, making things fast, very highly technological, everything happening through internet. We're gonna have a lot more time now, as jobs will be replaced. Many jobs will be replaced by people, by robots. You know, shopping will be done with maybe the way that you would just, you know, do it for internet, and drone will bring it to you, so you will not spend times in queues anymore. Everything will be fast, I am sure of that. So this is promising for higher consciousness of people, because Aquarius talks about intellect. So let's hope that this will help to you know, awake more potential in our brain. Aquarius rules brain, yes. And then the Pluto in Aquarius energy shifts, I mean the Uranus energy shifts into Leo in 2039, and that will be the final game of two energies. In this case, it's going to be opposite sign. Aquarius and Leo, they are in opposition. So Pluto being in Aquarius, people, and Uranus being in Leo, which is the center, the sun, and also the energy of king. So this can be an interesting thing about power struggles, for example, in politics. You know, Leo represents those big leaders. Let's see. Pluto was in Leo. Pluto, not Uranus. Pluto was in Leo during the Second World War. That was actually the start of Second World War, and then we had those times of big leaders, of a very bossy energy, Leo, you know, Stalin, Hitler. So power was in hands of one leader, one center, right? Leo opposites Aquarius, right? So now we have the opposition of that energy that we had during the Second World War, when the energy of power and control is supposed to go not into center, not into some one leader, one king, but into people. Power back into the hands of people, democracy. And it will not happen overnight. I feel like it's gonna come with struggles, as I mentioned, with some sort of crisis. Maybe, again, humanity losing freedom for some time due to certain system showing up maybe in this 2026. This new system with Saturn Neptune in Aries. So it can be something new happening, but once we realize that this is stealing our freedom away, maybe this will spark revolution, protest, and then this power will be back into the hands of people. Let's hope that that's the scenario, and that it will truly be like that, that equality, tolerance, accepting people for who they are, all kind of differences will be welcomed, animals will be treated in an equal way. That's the energy of Aquarius, and first we will need to face the shadow side of this energy as well. So maybe shadow side of this artificial intelligence, of us using so much technology, of us living only in social media and not connecting in a natural way. Maybe we will experience some sort of problems, mental health problems. Maybe nervous system is ruled by Aquarius, so we might have some turbulence here as well. Anxiety, this is Aquarius energy, so we can expect something like this. And again, with Leo Aquarius opposition, Leo is passion and love, and Aquarius is brain and intellect. So I feel like maybe this energy now will be of us will be more focused on intellectual development. Leo is celebrities, influencers, so I believe there's going to be some crisis for those people as well. It's going to be not so much focus on this glamour kind of thing, Hollywood, celebrities, treating people like a god because they are famous. Leo's fame, being on stage, royalty also for royal family and monarchy. I expect that they will lose the power, and the energy of Aquarius will gain the power. So those visionaries, scientists, people who focus on intellectual development, on the brain will be attractive now. Now that, not that you are, famous, or you have a lot of money, or you have some important position. Now we will maybe respect more people who are scientists, who are discovering important things, who are contributing to society with some important experiments and inventions. So maybe also this will be connected to us relating, especially with Gemini, which is social media, chatting, talking, Tinder and stuff. So maybe people will start to notice that what is the true value here. It should not be we should not be so focused maybe on this fame, beauty and stuff and influencers kind of thing, but something more, brain-like, intellectual. I see that the future is here, and the intellectual part of being a human being. And also we can have this crisis of what is actually humanity if we're going to have so much artificial intelligence all around, maybe merging with humans. I feel like machines, robots, they will be like merging with the human energy, so maybe there will be a crisis. Again, Pluto brings that crisis of death and rebirth, of what it means to be a human. And maybe we're gonna lose the sense of that with so much digitalization, with communication that will happen so much through internet and stuff. I feel like we're gonna be also faced with our addiction to technology in general, to how much we spend in front of different devices, of computer, phone and stuff. Especially now Saturn in Pisces will check our addictions, because Pisces is escapism and addictions. And then Pluto in Aquarius, Aquarius is technology, high technology. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of crisis about that as well. And maybe we will wake up one day and we'll see that actually we also need a normal meeting with people. We need to touch another person, see another person, not just use the chat and stuff. So maybe there's gonna be something here as well. So as I mentioned, I feel like we have very interesting times going on ahead. A lot of changes, as I mentioned. So the most important thing is to stay grounded, ground yourself, especially if you like nature. Go to nature as much as you can, barefoot, and just try to connect to the source. because it sometimes might feel with this transit, with the next years, it's going to be very turbulent, changeable, a huge shift, and we can sometimes lose the sense of stability. And that's why grounding, it's very recommendable for you guys, for all of us, for me included. I'm grounding myself almost every day in those times. Sorry, you see, I lost the voice with Pluto in Aquarius, so 1 second. Sorry. I am watching if there's something still that I should say for you to not leave you with. I think I said the most important things, right? We have this meeting with shadow, power, control. With Pluto, you know, go deeper to rise higher. So the deeper you go, the more you will discover. And that's why this energy is so needed now in our science. I feel like we're gonna explore a lot. Remember that Pluto marks generations as well. So those kids born now with Pluto in Aquarius, they will also be future, you know, builders of this age of Aquarius energy, because they will be born already with this power of Aquarius. I am a part of generational of Pluto in Scorpio. That was from 1983 till 1995. So we Scorpio, Pluto in Scorpio people, you can see that we are very much into occult, astrology, transformation. Look what happened with astrology now. Everybody is so much into that, because people born in that time, now they are adults. So now they are transforming this side of life. And of course, deep psychology, deep transformation, dealing with generational trauma. This is the purpose of generation of Pluto being in his own sign in Scorpio, which is about deep exploration, deep research of the taboo, of secrets, and transforming darkness into light. So a lot of shadow workers came with Pluto in Scorpio, a lot of astrologers, healers, psychologists, because we are forced with this Pluto to focus on scorpionic matters. And with Sagittarius, we had 1995-2008. That was the Pluto in Sagittarius generation. And during that time, you can see that a lot of shadow was explored from the church. Sagittarius rules faith and religions. And here we had for example, this child molestation cases in the church. So this showed up. And so you see this shadow side digging deep into darkness and showing this, exposing this to the world. So then with Capricorn, same happened with organizations, governments, corporations, banks, and it's gonna still continue till 2024, as I mentioned, and then we're gonna have same thing with Aquarius, science, technology, AI, digitalization of the world, progress, and also this detachment, this intellectual energy. So let's see how it goes. Remember that it's also important to meet the dark side of life, to know what to avoid, what to heal, how to heal it, and do something in such a way that those things of Aquarius will not control us, but we will control them. With Pluto, it's always this fight who has control. So let's hope that the control will be in us humans, that we will not let those technologies control our life, and all this digitalization will be used for something good for humanity, because there's for sure always a lot of beautiful things that progress can do to us. So I think that's all. I will not continue more, because I just wanted to make an overview over this Pluto in Aquarius energy. There will be a lot more going on, so just follow me on social media if you want. Maybe I will make some deeper insights along this transit to know exactly what might happen. And for now, let's try to embrace the fact that the old world is gone. We need to embrace the new. We need to be open into the new chapter of humanity. It's going to be very fast. It's going to be very changeable. We will not recognize this world 20 years from today. That's why, again, if you want, save this video, watch it again in a few years from now, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, you will still see some insights for you that can be helpful. I'm talking about signs that will be mostly affected, of course, fixed signs. Same signs that were affected by Saturn in Aquarius. So we have Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus. You guys have the biggest tension with now going on with Saturn in Aquarius since 2020, and now the same part of your chart will be transformed by Pluto. But it's gonna feel differently. It's gonna be long, slow, and it's gonna be only felt sometimes when there will be some, you know, your personal planet may be touched by Pluto. So don't expect that now you're gonna suffer for 20 years. Pluto is very silent and very deep and happening inwardly mostly. So for those of you guys with fixed placements, you will just have some sort of transformation going on, but on a very, very deep psychological level. Transformation, metamorphosis, and you know, I went through all the transits of Pluto already in a very young age. When I was a teenager and student at university, Pluto touched all my personal planets in a harsh way. It was conjunction, square, and opposition. Right now I'm having trine. Scorpio is, Pluto is in trine to my sun. And so, well, shadow work is my lifestyle with so many Plutonian energies going on all the time in my life. But as you see, I survived. I feel like this was very empowering, and facing shadow, facing darkness always gives you power of control over yourself. So don't be afraid of that. Be open to whatever Pluto will show you, and try to release the toxin, let go of all that is not serving you when you have any Pluto transits. I feel like I will make just a separate video about Pluto, about this energy in your chart, what this can mean. Maybe I will share a bit of my own story, as I am already after almost all the possible aspects that Pluto can give for you. So let's talk about this in another video. I will not continue here because it's gonna be too long. So again, if the video was helpful, please like, comment down below. I would love to know what this video made you maybe think, reflect about certain things, what you feel, what you think about the future, about what I said about this Pluto in Aquarius. Maybe you want to share your own insights, because there's like tons more. I just made some general overview here. So please share my channel, subscribe to my channel, and see you on personal reading if you would like to see your chart, your energy through my perspective, and you would like to get some tips, warnings, and just, you know, just get to know yourself better. My approach is pretty Plutonian. My Venus is in conjunction to Pluto, Venus in Scorpio, and that's my chart ruler. So I always dig deep. Deep psychology is my passion. That's why I would, guys, really recommend you to not be scared of Pluto. Without Pluto, there would be no transformation, no change in the world. Ugly things would stay ugly forever. With Pluto, ugly things is turned into beauty. Shadow is turned into light. The darkest side of life can be changed because we get awareness of them existing. So let's hope that this will be something beautiful in the end. And let's get ready for some sort of revolution, for maybe even fight for freedom. I hope you will stay always on the side of freedom, because there is nothing more important, I think, than people have the right to be free to decide about themselves, to not being under some sort of control. And I truly hope that if we all unite, as Aquarius wants, you know, to people being united and work together for the highest good of the planet, if we do that, then this transit can also be, you know, something positive for us. Now when I'm saying goodbye, the final thing I forgot to mention, you know, Pluto is death, Aquarius is humanity, so I also expect some sort of decrease of the number of people, because Aquarius rules demographics. So this is the final darker energy that can show up. We already saw this with Saturn being in Aquarius, demographics, as I mentioned, and Saturn restricting that. So 2020, 2023, there was like a lot of decrease of the number of people on this planet, and I feel like we might expect the same situation going on now. Now with Uranus in Taurus, you know, shakeups in the earth, in nature, we could see what happened in Turkey and Syria. So this earthquake that killed so many people all at once, you know, Pluto is underworld, is, you know, the energy of dying as well. So that was a pure insight for me that we can expect such events, unfortunately, in the future, that there will be some catastrophe with natural tragedy happening, and many people will just be gone with that. And again, with the Saturn in Neptune conjunction, this is the sign that we might expect some big disease coming, maybe even pandemic, another pandemic. So this can again bring some sort of decrease in population, but you know, maybe this is also for something happening. People believing in reincarnation, you guys have this peaceful approach to death. Probably you know that this is just a transition into something new, and also souls, they sign for such an experience. They want to live such an experience in order to progress. So those soul contracts in reincarnation talks about that. So hopefully we can also see that in that way, as a something bigger, as a part of a big process. But you know, death is a part of life. I don't need to make any explanations here. Somebody created this world in such a way, and this is a natural final stage of life, dying, right? So Pluto in Aquarius can also teach us a lot about this, and that's why I expect that there will be, you know, more death and also less people being born with Pluto in Aquarius, that it's again detached intellectual energy. And again, with this Uranus in Cancer, we can expect that people will not be so much into reproduction anymore. So there will be just less people on this planet. That's my prediction for the next years, for the not only 20 years but more, that we will just be less here. And maybe that also serves for something. And again, this is connected to elites, what they say, big people of this planet, what they talk about depopulation and the number of people being right now on this planet, that this number is too high. Connect the dots. 2020, connect what you saw in media in the last few years. I cannot say things openly because I will get in trouble. So I hope that this will just spark some sort of reflection, and you will also do your own research over what is happening in this world, especially with corporations, government, banks, and big pharma, what they are doing to humanity. And let's hope that this will be some sort of awakening for you as well, in case you are still not there. So yeah, that's it. Good luck for all of you guys, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for any share. I appreciate that. I'm sending you love right now from Spain, and see you next time. Bye bye.